Good afternoon, I'm Wendy Petrie and this is your afternoon news fix for Monday, the 31st of March. Minister for Rail, Winston Peters, says his Inter-Islander ferry plan saves costs on infrastructure. Cabinet today agreed Peters' package to have 2 new ferries crossing Cook Strait by Christmas 2029. He says they'll have road and rail decks and capacity for 1,500 passengers. They'll be longer than the current vessels, about 200 metres, but smaller than the cancelled government's contract. Peters says this is more pragmatic than that.
The marine infrastructure in Picton requires replacement, so it will be replaced. The marine infrastructure in Wellington has life left in it, so we will modify and keep using it.
Meanwhile, Peters is unrepentant about publicising and questioning private Instagram posts by Benjamin Doyle from before he became a Green MP. The New Zealand First Leader posted on X criticising the post with sexually suggestive captions. The Green Party says Peters is fanning hatred and Doyle's received death threats. But Peters says he wants Doyle to explain the posts.
What do your posts mean and why are 52 taken down? What's suspect about them?
Slimmed down Health and Safety at Work Act requirements for small, low-risk businesses to reduce compliance costs. That's one of several changes to health and safety laws Workplace Relations and Safety Minister Brooke Van Velden is announcing today. Here's senior political reporter Sophie Trigger.
Cabinet's agreed to cut down on what it's calling tick box health and safety tasks and only require the regulator be notified for significant workplace events like death, serious injury or illness. Brooke Van Velden says low-risk businesses will only have to manage critical risks. For example, a small clothing shop needs to provide first aid, emergency plans and basic facilities, but not a psychosocial harm policy.
Serial Auckland sex offender Luca Fairgray has been jailed for 4.5 years for crimes against a 13-year-old girl. Emily Ansell reports.
A jury found the 22-year-old guilty of 3 charges of sexual conduct with a young person in February. In an impact statement, the victim expressed frustration about Fairgray explaining his actions using his autism, which she also has. The jury didn't know Fairgray had previously been convicted of 10 assault charges against 6 teen girls.
Silverfern Farms remains in the red with a reported loss of $21.8 million last year. Joint owner SFF Cooperative also reported a $10.9 million loss. Meat exports grew 25% in February compared to 12 months ago, reaching $1.1 billion. CEO Dan Bolton says the losses are disappointing.
Probably what we did underestimate is just the level of procurement tension that occurred through the back half of last year.
The Wellington Phoenix and forward Marco Rojas have agreed to mutually terminate his contract. Rojas has been released with 3 months left on his 1-year deal with the club. The victorious Blackburn Sevens will be without Manaya Nuku for this week's World Series tournament in Singapore after she was forced from the field during the final against Australia with a leg injury. And Lydia Ko has finished 6th in the latest LPGA Tour event in Arizona, moving her to the top of the season-long money list. I'm Wendy Petrie. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update tomorrow morning from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.